So the Lord will reveal himself to all people, no matter where you are, who you are, through the things that are made. But watch this scene from a Detroit Tigers baseball game yesterday. They're basically talking about seeing something impossible, and they're mystified of the cause.
John Doherty evidently was karate kicked by Sandy Alomar Jr. during a brawl. John awaiting the arrival of Sandy Alomar Jr. And then the pile. Funny enough, the last strikeout of John's career came against Sandy Alomar in '96. Got him back.
Okay, it's coming.
You kick me in the leg, I'll strike you out.
Now watch this.
That was well with the Red Sox as Dylan Dingler takes a ball. Here's a note from our great graphics guru, Austin Drake. Probably a lot of John Doherty's out there, but notably there was an Irish folk fiddler who had fame from the 1940s to 1970s.
Here we go.
Pop-up foul, first base side, Bush on the move, and he nearly karate kicked the tarp. That looked a lot like Sandy Alomar. That is weird comedic timing. Hey! Had the leg out there and everything. Do you ever stop and wonder, like, how does this stuff happen on our telecast? Like, we've never talked about John Doherty and Sandy Alomar's karate kick, and then the next ball in play. Yeah. I mean, come on. What are we doing? It's Truman Show.
So they attribute it to something like the Truman Show. I think they're just chatting casually, not making some philosophical statement, but very, very fascinating that they basically see an event that they deem to contain some impossibility or something like that it's a sign from something greater, some controllers beyond our immediately visible range. And he says Truman Show, which would be exactly that. You know, you've got a godlike figure controlling all things. So you see it right here in the Detroit Tigers game. There's been a lot of talk of this. There was a Detroit Lions game last year where, as they were talking about a fumble, there was a fumble, and then people made some of the same comments. I know the atheists will come along and say, oh, it's just a coincidence. That's what the atheist always says. But when the coincidences pile up day after day after day, it starts to get a little bit non-coincidental. The chances are just too great against it being, quote, a coincidence. And plus, the definition of coincidence has no meaning. I looked it up in the dictionary the other day, and it meant something that does not obey according to reason. I thought that was actually a pretty good definition, but that would simply point to God. Anything that would be beyond reason has to be something beyond the natural, reasonable laws of predictable nature. So therefore, something outside of nature controlling all things, which would, of course, be God. So when people talk about coincidence and things like this, they're just simply using a bogus concept like coincidence to replace what they should be saying, which is something that defies explanation and indicates and points to an almighty creator God outside of nature controlling all things.